Thank you very much, Chairman Arch and members of the Health and Human Services Committee. I'm Senator Megan Hunt, MEGAN-HUNT, and I'm here today to present LB1136 to continue my mission of growing equality for LGBTQ Nebraskans. LB1136 focuses specifically on an often forgotten demographic, but which is arguably some of the most vulnerable among us, and that's our aging LGBTQ seniors in long-term care facilities. In the past, I've advocated for the rights and dignity of LGBTQ youth and working adults, but what we have not really addressed in this legislature is how aging and elderly LGBTQ people need legal protections that are different and as much as any other age group. LGBTQ people face unique sets of challenges. As children and teens, they might face discrimination in school. As working age adults, it could be in the workplace. But as a society, we've kind of neglected to consider what happens to this population as they age and need to live in senior care facilities. The idea for this bill was brought to me by Owlish, an Omaha organization that advocates for equity for LGBTQ adults over 50. In this bill, LGBTQ senior care facilities would be explicitly prohibited from discriminating or harassing residents on the basis of the resident's sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, or HIV status, or because of the resident's association with someone in one of those categories. For example, LB 1136 would require that trans individuals get room assignments that align with their gender identity, that LGBTQ couples cannot be denied requests to share a room in a facility, that trans or gender nonconforming individuals be allowed to use the restroom of their choice, and that LGBTQ residents' preferred name, pronouns, and clothing choices are honored. Due to the nature of this issue, this kind of discrimination is not often reported, and there are many stories about how these seniors often have to, quote, go back into the closet, unquote, when entering long-term senior care, for fear that their rights won't be respected. According to the AARP, 61% of LGBTQ Americans over age 45 have concerns about experiencing physical or verbal harassment in a long-term care facility. It's essential that we get this preventive standard in statute to ensure our seniors have protections from here on out, so that the loved ones of LGBTQ seniors can trust that they're placing their relatives in a place where they're going to be safe, and so that any violations happen, there's legal recourse that can be pursued. With this clear language in the law, there's no gray area for a healthcare facility or for their workers to make judgment calls motivated by personal bias about what is or isn't appropriate treatment of an LGBTQ resident. Some seniors may prefer to live in a facility that is specifically targeted to that demographic, and such facilities are slowly expanding and gaining more traction nationally. But we don't have that here in Nebraska, and it's generally very expensive and difficult to get into a long-term care facility that is specifically for LGBTQ people. For those that have the means to find a spot in one, maybe out of state, that's great, but you shouldn't have to have the means to find an LGBTQ-only facility to know that your dignity will be protected as you age. I believe we have several testifiers here today who can speak to more specific examples or concerns they have about discrimination that they've seen or experienced or that they fear happening here in the state to them or their loved ones. So I'll leave those anecdotes to them. As an overview, this bill protects LGBTQ people in senior care facilities, including trans and gender nonconforming people, and ensures that their identity, physical autonomy, privacy, and medical treatment are respected and in accordance with their gender identity and sexual orientation, with or without regard to their HIV status. It would also guarantee that these people, who may be extra vulnerable due to cognitive decline or medical conditions that come with age, have the same rights as all other residents. I just request that the committee listen respectfully to our testifiers today, some of whom are testifying for the first time on a matter that's very near and dear to them, and who are showing a lot of courage by being here to share their stories today. And also maybe think about someone you love and how you hope and expect them to be treated when they are elderly and in long-term care. Thank you.